Hello mathletes, Dave Staublin here, and I'd like to talk to you about radian measure of angles. Now normally we measure angles in degrees, that's what we're used to doing. But there's another way to measure them, and it's called a radian, and I'd like to show you how that works. So I've got here a circle, and what I'm going to do is highlight this radius. Okay, so there's a radius. Now, if you can imagine that we take the length of that radius, and then we go to the actual part of the circle, and we measure along the arc this distance, so that this arc here is the same as the radius of the circle. And then I'm going to connect that, and of course that's a radius, right? Because you're going from center to the circle's a radius, center to the circle's a radius. And then we took that same distance and wrapped it around the arc, so that's a radius distance too. Well, when you do it, this angle right here, the measure of that angle is defined as 1 radian. Pretty crazy. So this arc length, the arc length is equal to the radius, and then that angle is 1 radian. Okay? Now, let's go down to this big circle here. I have got that as the radius, and I'm going to mark this on a piece of paper. And what I'm going to do is take that distance and kind of wrap it around to get to that point. Okay. And so I'm going to call that angle 1. So the measure of angle 1 is equal to, now remember, this arc length is r, same as the radius, and so that angle is 1 radian. Now, I'm going to do it again. I'm going to take that radius, and I'm going to start here, and I'm going to wrap this around to get to that point. And this distance here, that arc length, is 1 radius. And so the measure of angle 2 is equal to 1 radian. And then I'm going to do it again. So let's see, from there to there is the radius. And so I'm going to start here, and I'm going to wrap it around and get to right there. And so that arc length is a radius, which means that the measure of angle 3 is 1 radian. And then we have this little part right here. And that is obviously not a radian, because that distance is not the radius, but it turns out that it is approximately 0.14 radians. So now we've gone from here, we got 1 radian, 1 radian, 1 radian, and about 0.14 radians. How many radians is it to go from 0 to 180 degrees? Well, let's add them up. 1, 2, 3, 3.14. Approximately 3.14 radians is 180 degrees. Does that number look familiar to you? Yes, yes. 180 degrees is exactly equal to pi radians. And that's the key idea here. Pretty cool.